Khan Shalom Akim. I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahawah, Bahasham, Yahawashi, Bahasham, Rawchaa, Qadash. Double honors to the elder apostles of great Millstone who teach and rule well, and Shalom to the sincere Akim, furnish truth and sincerity. Shalom. So as y'all might know, Drake has released a new video. If I'm correct, its name is Falling Back. And in that video, you can see how Drake, is about to get married. And as he's about to get married, and he's saying the yes word, to basically to the wife that you see in the front. Then you see the scene change a little bit, the camera angle moves, and then you see a whole row of females standing behind the first woman, standing behind the first female. So what is Drake actually doing? He's getting married to over 20 females. And this is actually very spiritual and biblical. Because the time is going to come, even before we're going to reach the kingdom, that a man, is able to have multiple females because of the time that we're in, that we're heading into. Because the man of the Lord is able to protect these females from the time to come through the spirit and power of Yahawah and Yahawashi. Because the Most High is going to make sure that these men are well set well by, or however you say it, you see. But before I want to go into, that topic, I want to talk about something more personal that happened to me, in the last couple of days, or basically last couple of weeks, because, yesterday, my wife decided to leave me on the phone, and basically my ex-wife now, she decided to leave on the phone because she was, distancing herself from me, and saying, things to me like that she doesn't really feel it like that anymore, and from the moment, that we got together, things never really worked out, but, you have a certain mind frame, once you come into the truth, that you can't easily put your wife away like that, even though, if it's going to hinder you, it's a possibility, to still put her away for the truth's sake. But, long story short, today I find out that even before she broke up with me on the phone, she committed adultery with another person, and that might be a tough pill to swallow because we understand the world that we're in, concerning being ruled by the wicked and the wicked allowing those things to happen upon the earth, and things that we're actually supposed to do with people that do such things, are things that we are not able to perform. So, not to go too much into, what happened. For instance, Proverbs chapter 6, starting at verse 32, explains us, what the reaction is of a man that finds out, if his woman commits adultery. This is Proverbs chapter 6, verse 32. But whoso committed adultery with a woman lacketh understanding. He that doeth destroyed his own soul. You see, because if you commit adultery with another man's wife, you should be put to death, together with the woman. Verse 33, a wound and dishonor shall he get, and his reproach shall not be wiped away. It's a stain on your, how you say that, on your character, man. It's a shameful thing because it's actually something that's not supposed to, happen within our nation, first and foremost, but it's a natural reaction of a man, to get very angry once he finds out, that his wife, committed adultery. It's a very, very natural reaction of a man to get very mad at that, because it says in verse 34, for jealousy is the rage of a man, therefore he will not spare in the day of vengeance. Once this man finds out, that his wife committed adultery, he basically wanna avenge his man. He wanna kill both of them, He want to kill both the man and the woman. You see, and that's a natural reaction. You see, but we're in a society in which certain things, yeah, we do understand that they can be found in the scriptures, but we also do understand that we're not able to execute those judgments because we're living in a society in which Esau Edom defends such people. Because yeah, he claims to be the people of the scriptures, but he does not uphold the law, statutes, commandments. That's what it also says in Psalms the 50th chapter, starting in verse 16 and verse 17. You see, verse 35, he will not regard any ransom, neither will he rest content, though thou givest many gifts. So there's no way that you're able to obey the anger of this man. He's gonna come for one thing, and that's basically, to put those people to death. But like I said, we're not able to uphold these things, in this society, in this kingdom. So the only thing that we're able to do in this truth is to understand that we have to suffer through these things and accept it for the way it is and deal with it and move on. You know, and with the brother from Germany, Tazawal Call, I talk a lot, and I also explained to him, a couple of times, like, hey, we talk about these things a lot, you know, either forsaken wife, house, father, mother, children, son, daughter, etc. You know, shall receive 100-fold. But what people forget to realize is like that, with love and things like that, emotion starts to also play a role. So once these things happen, it's more difficult, than just talk. Now you also have to walk the talk, talk the talk, walk the walk. You see? So these are things, man, being able to, just move on from a situation like that, being the truth is not easy. But hey, through the spirit and power of Yahawashi, share all these things are possible, man. You know. It's Leviticus chapter 20 and verse 10. And the man that committeth adultery with another man's wife, even he that committed adultery with his neighbor's wife, the adulterer and the adulteress shall surely be put to death. And this is supposed to be the judgment executed upon those that commit adultery. You see? But like I said, we're not able to do that in this society, so we just got to deal with it and keep it moving. Go on with the life and make sure that we're going to continue within this truth to push the word for Bahasham Yahawashi. You see? Is that going to be more difficult, the first couple of, weeks? You know, of course, especially when a child is involved in my case, you know. But it doesn't mean that I'm not able to, do the work. It means that, I need to find a way to deal with the situation. Focus on Yahawashi Yahawashi, focus on the brothers, man. And if time is there, be there with them and also make sure you got some time alone, you see. But make sure that the people around you are able to support you as well, you see. Because you don't have to do everything yourself, man. The scriptures even talk about it, how you what is it? Let me see. Um uh, let me see where it is. Let me see where it is. Select action. I think it is Galatians or Ephesians. Ephesians 5. Yeah, this is Galatians chapter 6, verse 2. Bear ye one another's burdens and so fulfill the law of Yahawashi. So if a brother is going through something, being there for the brother, is also a very brotherly thing to do, man. You know, even if it's a situation like this, you know. So don't think that this only counts for a situation that I'm going through right now myself, but this can also be with other things, man. But it's very important, not to only care about yourself, but also care about, things that another person or another brother is going through. You see within this truth. This is Matthew chapter 19, verse 27, and this is what I was talking about, concerning, you know, um, forsaking your father, mother, and children. You know, like I said, we often talk about it, but once that situation occurs in your life, then it's a whole new situation. Then you have to deal with it yourself. You see, then it's not talk, but you also have to walk the walk, like I already said. This is Matthew 19, verse 27. Then answered Peter and said unto him, Behold, we have forsaken all and followed thee. What shall we have therefore? So the disciples ask, what they're going to receive because they followed Yahawashi, and forsook all. Verse 28, and Yahawashi said unto them, Verily, verily I say unto you, that ye which have followed me in the regeneration, when the Son of Man shall sit in the throne of his glory, ye shall also sit upon 12 thrones, judging the 12 tribes of Israel. So he explained to them that in the reincarnation, when they're going to stand in the latter days, and they're going to receive their salvation when Yahawashi comes back, then we're going to be in the kingdom. Then they're going to be the ones, to sit upon the 12 thrones, judging the 12 tribes of Israel. After that, you have the remaining 144,000 in their respectable order that are going to be joint heirs with Yahawashi. Verse 29, and everyone that hath forsaken houses or brethren, or sisters, or father, or mother, or wife, or children, or lands, for my name's sake, shall receive 100-fold, and shall inherit everlasting life. So if we forsake these things, if we lose these things while in this truth, and we continue to push and go on, in exchange for that, we're gonna receive 100-fold and inherit everlasting life. And that's something that we're working for. That's something that should be on our mind. We're going through the trials, tribulations, and afflictions. You see, that's something that we should be focusing on, man. And it's quite funny because another brother, I think it was from London, he also posted a video, in which he says if a woman leaves you in the truth, let me quickly grab it. If your woman leaves you in the truth, so what? Who you are is hidden from her eyes. So she doesn't understand who you are. She doesn't see you for who you actually are. She doesn't see you as the prophet. Do put in the work for Bahasham. Because if she actually would, then she would not do the things that she would actually do, and then she would not have done the things that she actually did. So that means that she's not actually your wife. You know. And in this day and age, all these females are not actually our wives neither, unless you get them as a virgin. That's a very, very, very small chance. You see. But I digress a little bit concerning the main topic that I actually want to go into, because if we go back to the picture of Drake, we can see that he married over 20 females. So right now there might be certain brothers going through a similar situation, or have been going through a similar situation, are still dealing with the aftermath or the after effects. There might be brothers that are watching this video that um, might have a hard time finding a woman at all. you know that might be the case, but the scriptures also say in what is it, First Thessalonians chapter 4 and verse 18, wherefore comfort one another with these words. So the way that we're comforting each other, through the things that we're going through, is by bringing out edification through the scriptures, just like it says in Romans chapter 15 in the fourth verse. For whatsoever things are written aforetime are written for our learning, that we through patience and comfort of the scriptures might have hope. So the things that were written in the scriptures, decades ago, they were written that we might be able to learn from those situations. We would come to the understanding that the wicked will be in rulership, that they would not uphold the law, such commandments of Yahawashi, and therefore the law is select. Therefore, all the wickedness that is happening upon the earth is allowed to happen. There's no recompense for that. But the time is going to come. And when the recompense is going to come, or when the things are going to turn upside down, then the things that we hope for, and the things that we find comfort in, they're going to be given unto the men of the Lord, such as having multiple females being in order, you know. That's the beautiful thing, man. Not getting the headaches, not the fighting, everything is going to be in decency and in order, just like it's supposed to be. You see, but we're getting closer towards that time as well. This is Isaiah chapter 4 and 1. And in that day 7 women shall take hold of one man, saying, we will eat our own bread and wear our own apparel, only let us be called by thy name to take away our reproach. So 7 women represents completion. This can be any number, as much as the Most High sees fit for that man. And they're basically saying themselves that they're going to take care of their own. We don't have to mind them. They just want to get our name. And the way in which they're going to receive our name is by laying down with us, because the act of sex and intercourse is actually what binds a man and a woman. So they're saying all these things because they too want to be protected in the time to come, in the time of Jacob's trouble, and also to take away the shame, of their filthy and promiscuous behavior, that they have been allowed to do upon this earth, which on the contrary side has also been promoted by Edom, the so-called white man, who's the wicked upon the earth, who's allowing all these things to happen, And this is one of the comforts that we're able to comfort one another with, concerning those that um, might go through a situation similar to me right now, or that might um, have difficulties with the with acquiring a female, you know. But the time is gonna come, Akyam, and the Most High, talks about it, and He's not a man that He should lie. This is gonna happen. See, this is what the Most High promised, you know. This is what He promised, man. We're gonna have a lot of females, and that is gonna start, you know, during the time of Jacob's trouble, in which these females do realize like they need a man of the Lord that's able to protect them. You see, this is Isaiah chapter 13 and verse 12. I will make a man more precious than fine gold, even a man than the golden wedge of Ophir. And gold is actually very precious, but a man shall be more precious than that. And the reason for that is because during the time to come, in which the Most High is going to send, a lot of plagues upon the earth, the sword, famine, death, and destruction, pestilences, new creatures that are created to bring forth judgment upon the earth. A lot of men are going to die upon this earth. So there's going to be men, that are looked after, or looked for, because these females need protection, and a female will always cling towards that which gives her protection. You see, this is Second Esdras chapter 16 and verse 33. The virgins shall mourn having no bridegrooms, the women shall mourn having no husbands, their daughters shall mourn having no helpers. You see, so they're going to be in want of a man. They're going to be in want of a man. Verse 34. In the wars shall their bridegrooms be destroyed, and their husbands shall perish of famine. And that's the time that we're headed into. The time of Jacob's trouble is going to bring forth race riots, race wars, um, class type of wars, you see. But also the wars that are going to be happening by all these nations, which eventually is also going to happen. What also is going to happen is that it's all going to lead up towards the Third World War, you see, which is going to be the war to end all wars. The time of Jacob is going to be no joke. A lot of people are going to die. This Isaiah chapter 32 and verse 2. And a man should be as an hiding place from the wind, which the wind represents destruction, and a covert from the tempest, as rivers of water in a dry place, as the shadow of a great rock in a weary land. So if you are in a dry place such as a desert, if you are able to hide behind the shadow of a great rock in a weary land in which the sun is burning, what you actually do is able to find comfort there and protection and a means of survival. Because you're not out there in the burning sun, you're not out there dying um, of dehydration. You see, so that means you're going to be provided for. And that's the time that we're heading into Akyam, because this is talking about the men of the Lord, you know. This is talking about the men of the Lord. So no matter the situation concerning these females, whether you lose them for whatever reason or circumstance, you know, or if you're not able to acquire them, we need to find the comfort in the scriptures now more than ever. And um, if you go on YouTube and search for GMS Isaiah 4:1 breakdown, you're gonna find a lot of dream testimonies as well, that are backing up, the scriptures. Also in relationship to the time, that's supposed to happen. You know. So yeah, your Taza, this video was edifying. It also contained a little bit of a personal testimony concerning what I'm going through right now. But you know, these are the things that are set before us. Through the spirit and power of Yahawashi, we just got to deal with it. We just got to deal with it. We need to become numb and just keep it moving. If it's not a blessing, it's a lesson. So either way, we don't. It's either a win or we learn. You see. So with that, I pray that this lesson was edifying. And with that, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahawah, Bahasham, Yahawashi, Bahasham, Rawchaa, Qadash. Double honors to the Elder Apostles of Great Millstone, who teach and rule well, and shalom to the sincere Akim, who furnish truth and sincerity.